In this video, we will discover the hidden story of life since the beginning of time, Big Bang. Let's talk about how life emerged billions of years ago, how it came to our planet, how it evolved over millions of years, and much more. So without further ado, let's move on to the video. A long time ago, about 4.6 billion years ago, our solar system began to form from a large cloud of gas and dust. The sun formed at the center, and around it, the Earth began to create. The early Earth was hot, almost like a ball of fire. At the beginning, many space objects, such as pieces of rock and ice, hit the Earth hard. These impacts were like big blows. They not only shaped the Earth, but also brought important things like water and some substances that helped create life. In the beginning, our atmosphere had no oxygen. It was composed of gases coming from volcanoes, such as water vapor, methane, and sulfur dioxide. The air was different from what we know today. Over time, the Earth cooled. The water that was in the air turned into oceans. This was important to create a place where life could begin. The oceans were like nurseries for life. Water was fundamental to the beginning of life's journey on Earth. When asteroids hit Earth, they brought important things like water and some substances that helped create life. Imagine that the Earth was being bombarded by chunks of space. This intense period of collisions helped spread things essential for life to different parts of the planet. In environments like the first oceans, little things called molecules began to form. These molecules were like the building blocks of life. Imagine a special soup in the oceans where these molecules mix together. This primordial soup was a magical place where important things in life began to happen. Some of these molecules have come together to form important structures, such as amino acids, which are like key building blocks for life. Let's talk about how these molecules gave rise to the first very small life forms, almost like living microscopes. One idea is that these little living things began to protect themselves with a kind of shell. It's as if they started building their own houses. The first cells were simple, but they were the beginning of everything. They were like little bundles of life that began to multiply. Now let's get into something called RNA and DNA. These are like the letters in a great book of life, carrying important information. Think of these molecules as magical recipes that tell living things how to grow and function. They are crucial for the continuation of life. With RNA and DNA, the story of life began to be written. Genetic information began to be transmitted from one generation to another. Now let's talk about how these little living things began to form units called cells. Imagine cells as little universes where life began to happen. These cells were like small houses where life was organized. They were simple at first, but they were the starting point for the diversity of life. The earliest life forms were unicellular, meaning they were made up of a single cell. These simple cells were the first living things. Over time, cells began to become more complex. Some began to work together, forming multicellular organisms. Let's travel through time and explore how these cells have evolved over the eons. It's as if we are watching a great story in motion. Life evolved because cells adjusted to their environment. It's as if life is always learning to adapt to survive. Over time, this evolution gave rise to an incredible variety of life forms, from tiny microbes to complex plants and animals. Now let's explore how life has transformed over the years. Imagine that life is like a plant that grows and changes. Every small change over time contributes to the great diversity of life we see today. Living beings have learned to adapt to their environment over the ages. It's like they're on a big adventure, adjusting to survive. Nature is like a teacher who teaches creatures what works and what doesn't. Natural selection is like a test that life forms go through to ensure their survival. Think of natural selection as a filter that allows only the traits most useful for survival to pass on to subsequent generations. As a result of this process, we have an incredible diversity of life, from tiny insects to giant mammals, all adapted in unique ways. Now let's talk about how different life forms began to work together as a team. This is called symbiogenesis, a partnership between different living beings. Think of cells as cities where different parts, called organelles, work together to maintain life. It's as if each part had a special function. As these partnerships developed, more complex life forms began to emerge. It's like they were building more elaborate things together. The panspermia hypothesis. But although there is life on Earth, could life have started somewhere far away in space? The idea that life may have started somewhere far away in space and then been seeded on Earth is a hypothesis known as panspermia. This theory suggests that life, or at least its essential building blocks, may have an extraterrestrial origin and arrived on Earth via comets, asteroids, or other forms of interstellar transport. Panspermia proposes that biological material, such as microorganisms or organic molecules fundamental to life, could have been transported through interstellar space. These cosmic germs could have arrived on Earth and provided the ingredients necessary for life to begin. Panspermia could explain the rapid emergence of life on Earth after conditions became right. If the essential building blocks were already present, it could speed up the process of life formation once the right conditions, such as the presence of water and the stability of the environment, are met. Extraterrestrial origin of microorganisms. In its most direct form, panspermia suggests that microorganisms, possibly even more complex life forms, may have originated elsewhere in the universe and reached Earth via celestial bodies. Initial complexity of life on Earth. Panspermia could offer an explanation for the early complexity of life on Earth. If essential building blocks or even primitive life forms were already present, this could explain why life on Earth appears to have arisen so quickly after conditions became right. The exponential clock of life. When we look at the history of life, it appears that creatures' biological instruction manuals, called genomes, have gotten larger over time. A curious idea is that these genomes may have doubled in size every million years, as if evolution were happening faster and faster. This suggestion points to the fact that in a short space of time, life on Earth has undergone remarkable genetic changes. This acceleration in evolution may have played an important role in the diversity of life we see today, allowing different species to adapt to varying environments over many years. This acceleration in evolution makes us think about how life has transformed over incredibly long periods of time. Although we are still learning about the details of this process, the central idea is that life on Earth has a remarkable ability to adapt and change rapidly over time. This makes us wonder whether similar processes can occur elsewhere in the universe. The habitability of the early universe. Could the early universe have suitable conditions for the emergence of life? Let's take a look at how the universe began and how it may have influenced the emergence of life. In its early days, the universe was a very different place than it is today. The idea is that for a limited period after the Big Bang, conditions were suitable for life virtually everywhere. Imagine this as a special time when temperatures allowed water, a crucial ingredient for life as we know it, to remain liquid. This happened during a period that lasted millions of years, when the temperature of the universe was in the range that allowed the existence of liquid water, an essential element for life as we know it. During this period, the basic elements necessary for life, such as carbon and oxygen, were being formed in stars. Some of these stars may have exploded as supernovae, spreading these crucial ingredients across our corner of the universe. The idea is that, at this special moment, virtually the entire universe may have been a place where life could begin. This makes us wonder if, somewhere beyond Earth, life could have emerged during this universally habitable period. This perspective adds an intriguing layer to the search for life elsewhere in the cosmos. Ancestral life forms. In addition, we will also explore the possibility that life forms or their building blocks existed a long time ago, perhaps even before life on Earth. Suggestion is that these ancient life forms could have persisted in unusual places, such as asteroids or cosmic dust, waiting for favorable conditions to develop. If we think about asteroids, for example, they're like pieces of giant rocks wandering through space. The idea is that possibly microbes or molecules necessary for life could have found refuge on these celestial bodies. At an opportune time, perhaps after impacts or other cosmic events, these cosmic guests could have arrived on Earth and contributed to the emergence of life here. This hypothesis makes us reflect on the possibility that life may be older than we think, with its traces remaining in unusual places. It also raises exciting questions about whether life forms may be waiting in other corners of the universe, on asteroids or in dust particles, awaiting suitable conditions to thrive. While this is an intriguing idea, it is important to point out that we are still actively exploring these possibilities, and that continued research holds many fascinating discoveries. Such investigations could shed light on the mysteries of the origin of life and its persistence in the farthest reaches of the cosmos. Active exploration in search of life. Let's discuss how we are exploring places other than Earth for signs of life. Scientists are carrying out space missions to examine planets and moons in our solar system, looking for signs of life or conditions that could support it. Mars. One of the most intriguing destinations is Mars. Recent missions have studied Martian geology and looked for evidence of water, a crucial ingredient for life. Future discoveries may indicate whether Mars once had or still has microorganisms. Europa and Enceladus. Two moons, Europa, Jupiter's moon, and Enceladus, Saturn's moon, have subsurface oceans. Scientists speculate that these oceans could harbor life forms. Future missions, such as the Europa Clipper probe, aim to explore these moons for signs of life. Titan. Saturn's moon Titan has seas and lakes of methane and ethane. Although very different from Earth, they could support exotic life forms. The Dragonfly mission is planned to explore Titan, investigating its potential for life. These missions not only search for life, but also seek to understand conditions that may have existed in the past or that may exist now. Finding evidence of life beyond Earth would be a monumental discovery, but even if we don't find life, the information collected will increase our understanding of worlds beyond our planet. Space exploration continues to open new horizons in our search for life in the universe. Potential diversity of life in the universe. Let's explore the exciting possibility that life may be flourishing in various forms and in different cosmic environments. While we haven't yet encountered beings similar to us in our search, that doesn't mean there isn't life out there. The suggestion is that life may have evolved in countless ways, from microbes to more complex forms, in different corners of the universe. The history of life on Earth shows us the incredible diversity, from amoebas to dinosaurs and finally, us. If this diversity is any clue, then elsewhere in the cosmos, there may be worlds teeming with microbes, oceans filled with exotic fish, and continents inhabited by unimaginable animals. The idea is that life may have reached different levels of complexity in different parts of the universe. If life is a constant in the cosmos, then evolution may have carved out a surprising tapestry of life forms in various cosmic environments. This narrative suggests that while the universe today may seem hostile, there was a time when life could have emerged virtually everywhere. Even now, microorganisms or simpler life forms may exist in places we have not yet fully explored. Although we have not found life beyond Earth so far, our understanding is evolving, and future discoveries could reveal worlds teeming with life in all its forms and diversity. The search for life in the universe continues to inspire us to explore, question, and imagine the fascinating possibilities that the cosmos may hold. When examining the history of life on Earth, the intriguing idea emerges that life may have begun somewhere beyond our planet. The rapid emergence of life here challenges our conventional ideas, suggesting that life may have been seeded in space. The observation of the rapid increase in genomic complexity, the exponential clock of life, highlights the remarkable adaptability of life over time. The habitability of the early universe raises the possibility that life may have had cosmic origins. The active search for life elsewhere in the solar system, such as Mars and moons like Europa, leads us to consider the potential diversity of life in the universe. In short, the narrative of a cosmic life suggests that the universe can support diverse life forms, inspiring us to continue exploring the mysteries of the cosmos. So if you like the content, please smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Bye!